So, I normally shuffle on camera, but today I was shuffling and the Emperor and the Empress came out together. And I realized it's been a minute since I've done a really thorough divine masculine, divine feminine energy reading. So I'm going to take a look at what's going on between these two energies, with the understanding that whatever's happening externally is just a reflection of what's going on within ourselves. Okay. So, the Emperor came out on top, and it was actually covering up the Empress, and it made me think about how the masculine energy in society is prioritized and always like at the top, in charge of things, and sort of covering up the role of the feminine energy, which is what we see literally here, the source of life. Okay. And we see the source of life here within, and here we see this external manifestation of the mind outside of self, right? So what's hidden behind everything that is currently functioning externally is literally the source of life itself, which is just an important thing to note in these in this look at the divine masculine and feminine energy. So we can look at this like empirically, like a systems thinker, and be like, oh, this is about the patriarchy hiding the matriarchy, that is actually the source of all life, covering it up, putting it behind, suppressing it, hiding it, not expressing it. And then we can go, kind of go down and down and down into that, and saying that this is when someone is struggling with expressing their emotions. Okay. So that is what I'm going to be talking about on a surface level in a relationship. But on a deeper level, you need to think about in what ways your mind causes you to hide your emotions. For instance, let's say you feel a lot of excitement or energy towards someone when you first meet them, and you don't want to show them because you're afraid of whatever you might say or do that will push them away. Or, if you show your emotions too soon, they might be overwhelmed by that. So you do things to hide the way that you feel. Okay. And that's the kind of energy that you're experiencing from someone externally. The first, actually, let me do the overall energy before I get into this reading. The overall energy right now is the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is all about building a safe space, a sanctuary. It's a harmonious energy. It's like when all of the things that are in place are working together, and it allows you to build a strong and stable foundation. You end up at the Four of Pentacles after this card. So right now, all of the pieces are in place. Things are working somewhat harmoniously right now. And there is a desire to have these things actually manifest in the 3D. I'm making a pyramid shape for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not a politician. I don't do this normally. But so this is something about really creating what it is that you've been imagining in the 3D, and someone else is also invested in that too. Now, what is underlying this is the choices that you're making to change the way that you have behaved in the past. Also, the person that you are focused on likely has been in this process. Or if there's no one that you're focused on and this is a new energy, the person that you would be attracting that would match your energy would be just as comfortable making these changes as you are. So the first card that comes out in what I call the past placement. Now, this is, the past no longer exists and the future is a canceled check, right? And right now is the only thing that matters. But we do carry with us ideas, conceptions, convictions, beliefs, expectations that are shaped by the past. And so when I look at the past placement, I'm seeing what is it from your past that has influenced you that you're bringing into your present moment. Now, I can't deny that if I have a Three of Pentacles and a Devil card in a reading, the most common thing you're going to see readers talk about is third-party energy. And they're going to talk about, oh, there's a karmic partner. Or this person has like some kind of addiction, or they have a fixation or an obsession that is getting in between you and their ability to make that choice, a decision to change the circumstances. So something about that is coming through right now in this reading. So if we were going to look at a surface level, what I would say is you've been building a safe space for yourself, and you have been waiting for someone to decide to join you in that safe space. And there has been something that has been preventing them from doing that. And since we started out with the whole idea of the suppression of the feminine energy, it is likely that their ability to convey their emotions to the person that they're with in a third party connection, to tell them, I'm not happy, I want to move in, I want to split up, I'm interested in someone else, could potentially be what's getting in the way. It can also be that there is someone from their past who is no longer in the picture, and that person, and in this case we have a feminine energy, seems to be very fixated and obsessed, and that has prevented this person from telling you how they feel. There's a certain level of wanting to protect themselves that's coming through for me in this placement. Okay, so we're going to go through all of the surface level energy, and then we're going to get the deeper clarification under each one of these things. So right now we have the Devil. That's kind of attached to us. We've got a devil on our shoulder that's kind of coming into the present moment. Where are we in the present moment? Well, it's not a bad place to be, because there is a fresh start energy that comes with the Page of Pentacles. But we do have a sense here that for some, this can be an indication that they might feel that they don't have a lot to offer, because they only have a little bit, and it's more of a seed that needs to be planted and needs to grow to its maturity. Or they didn't put in the time, energy, and effort to grow something that you might have done. And I am seeing this feminine energy here again, and this is a deck that has both feminine and masculine energy depicted. And I do see a lot of feminine energy out on the table. So I think that if there is a person here, they are fixated on the feminine energy. So whichever one of you feels like you embody that energy more in any way, which is why it's not related to gender. It's simply like if you're the person that's more open, more receptive, more creative, more emotional, more like go with the flow, intuitive, like more comfortable there. And the other person will have these qualities. My God, if they don't, they'll be terrible, right? It's not that the other person doesn't have these qualities, which is why this is never about gender. It's just if you're more comfortable there than they might be. And there are certain areas where maybe they're really comfortable. Maybe the person you're focused on is normally in a masculine energy, but they're incredibly creative. However, they never express their emotions except through creativity, right? So that's how this stuff works. So basically, we have a person focused on the person who is more in their feminine energy, more effortlessly, more fluidly. And what I'm instantly getting is a sense of regret, because I do think that this feminine energy came forward and offered love. And they offered to plant the seeds of love, right? And you can't have love between two people if you plant the seed and then it's not watered and doesn't receive any light. It has to be tended to. And the only person that was doing the tending was the feminine energy. And so her love for herself has grown, and she has a garden. And I know that's true because we see her here hiding behind the masculine with this garden of energy, right? We see the trappings of love here on the outside of the masculine. For the feminine, it's within, okay? So she's fully embodied right now in this energy. I do see this youthfulness to her. So I think too, like if you're that person in your feminine energy right now, you might be looking very youthful. Like, girl, look at me. I am 44 years old. right? Okay. So you just look young. You look youthful. You have this brightness about you. And I think it's very appealing. So I do think that this person sees you as having offered something that they didn't tend to, that they didn't grow. And the reason that they didn't do that is because I think that they're embodying the other side of this card, which is that they felt like a lot of times when I see the Page of Pentacles, I'll be like, this person feels like a loser, right? They feel like they don't have much to offer. They've literally got just this little penny. What are you going to do with a penny? Do they even exist anymore? Are they, is there any purpose to them, right? It's literally like they just kind of feel like they weren't worth much. And they didn't even really understand why you were interested in them because they didn't feel worth much, right? That's the kind of person that you might have been attracting and had a lot of experiences with that were not super pleasant. Where does this end up? So if we take this past of the Devil energy and we mix it with this Page of Pentacles energy, we get here, which is the Magician energy. So this is what you can expect to occur from the energy that you've brought into the situation and where you currently are in, or where you currently are at. We have it could go either way position. This is a transverse placement, so we're not completely in our power, but we're also not totally surrendering our power either. It's almost like we're getting used to having our power and figuring out what to do with it. Again, a feminine energy here. She's got a swan. Immediately, I'm thinking of number one, swans are associated with long-term commitment, but I'm also thinking of the amazing show that I have recently been watching called Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. So good. John C. Reilly, epic performance from him. Sally Fields, she's so incredible. Okay, there's so many good people. Adrian Brody's in it. There's so many good people in it. There is a scene in the first episode, I think is called Swan or Swan Song or something like that. But there's a scene towards the end of the episode where the main character walks by these swans and he says, look at swans. They're the most graceful birds, considered to be the most graceful birds in all of the world. And they just float on the water. But what you're not acknowledging about swans is that when you look beneath the water, they're pedaling. They're working their asses off. They're paddling as hard as they fucking can. And that is what is occurring to me right now, that image of how something appears graceful on the surface, but beneath there is a lot of this work that's being done to ensure this grace, this flow. And the feminine energy has done the work. And so the return on the investment here should be that you see a person that matches your capability, that stands in that same kind of power that you stand in, that has done the work that you have done. So why would this be not upright yet? Because you still fully haven't acknowledged your power in this situation. I think a lot of us tend to focus on outside of ourselves. There are entire collectives here that listen to readers who tell them that it's on the feminine gendered individual to do all of the healing work so that the masculine gendered individual can heal without doing anything. What the fuck? Like, okay, welcome to the patriarchy. No, that's not even spiritual in any way to suggest that a feminine gendered person is responsible for the other person's spiritual development or healing. Do you have a profound effect on the people around you when you heal and change the way that you operate in the world? Hell yes, you do. Is it your job to do that for other people? Hell no. It's your job to do that for yourself, right? And the effects are just a side of, it's just a bonus, right? It's the icing on a cake. Because if you've done the work, then you're feeling very empowered. You're feeling like if there's something you can imagine, you can create it, right? So that's a huge distinction. So no, you're not supposed to just be the divine feminine and just be all feminine and all girl and like let yourself be waited on and do all that. That is not what you need to do to attract your divine counterpart. You are your divine counterpart, and anyone else who is whole and embodied themselves, they will match you. And anyone who is not will not match you. So if you haven't developed your masculine energy being taking what's inside and then expressing it materially. So that is, I have an idea, I have a creative idea, taking a pen, writing that shit down, seeing that shit come to life. That's masculine energy. That's it. It's basically being the one that acts towards the impulse or the intuition that pulls what is inside and brings it outside. But how do you get to do that? By going inside, right? In order to get something to come out, a masculine energy has to go in, leave something behind, and then something comes out from that experience, right? That's why these terms are applied, not because of gender. Okay. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to teach that, but I will, for you, I'm going to keep teaching that for the rest of my life, probably. But you are not quite fully embodied in your power yet, but you are on your way. You are on your way there. And I can tell because of the clarifier for this card. Now, the other meaning of this card, Magician card, can be manipulation, manipulating the energy, working too hard beneath the surface to try to achieve good results externally. Now, if you're really, really working overtime to the point of exhaustion and burnout, then that grace that you're trying to achieve, it doesn't quite work out, does it? It's very hard to maintain your composure when you're completely exhausted. And so that's something to keep in mind too, that you might be trying to manipulate the energy because you don't have the faith in the vision that you have coming to pass without you efforting quite a lot. But I'm telling you that efforting is not the way to receive. Look at the wealthiest people in the world. They are not efforting to receive billions of dollars. The billions of dollars that they're evaluated at comes from the fruits of their labor passively creating compound interest that is then invested, and it's just literally the evaluation of the businesses they buy going up because of all of the work and productivity that other people are doing. So the richest people in the world, are they the laziest people in the world? No. A lot of them do that overtime work because they want more and they want more and they want more and they want more. They also don't have any self-love or idea of who they are. They're defining themselves through this wealth, right? Through this acknowledgement of everything, so they're working very hard, but the actual accruing of wealth is not coming from like super hard work, rolling up their sleeves, getting their hands dirty. They're on a yacht. They're commanding a country to destroy a bridge that's been there for 1,000 years so that they can sit there on their fucking yacht and float right by, not giving a shit about the external environment or the people or history or anything else. That is not efforting. That is just basically expecting that things flow for you. Expecting that if you want to move your yacht through that country, bitch, they will pull that bridge down for you. They will do it for you. That's the energy here. So I do think that to a certain extent, we've had connections with people who really did just like think that we were going to do all the emotional processing. We were going to hold down the line for the connection. We were going to be in that old heteronormative patriarchal role of the provider, the protector, because I'm sorry, was the provider protector something masculine energy did? I'm sorry, who provided food for the family? Maybe they brought money home for it, but did they prepare it? Did they plan it? Did they create the meals? Did they make the modifications for the family members who had specific requirements? And the protection, I'm sorry, are we being protected? How many mass shootings a day are there? How many women are responsible for those mass shootings that have happened? What's that? No women have done that. Oh, okay. So the women are also doing the protecting. And the nurturing. Who's doing that? Was the masculine energy nurturing us in the heteronormative patriarchal dynamic? No, what was he doing? What was he doing? He was going to work. He was going to his job, and he was paddling. And then the grace that you saw came from everything underneath the water, which also included the feminine energy that was providing everything for that life to look the way it looks. Don't get me started. Okay. Anyway, you have been in relationships where you do all the work and you're tired of it. You're absolutely tired of it. And there is this fear and anxiety that there might not be relationships that exist that aren't like that. That the idea of having this balance in a connection might be a myth or a fantasy. I think that has happened a little bit in your psyche. And so that's what we've been healing out here. So let's clarify this devil card now to really say who's the devil in this situation. Who's the devil in this situation? Well, we've got a feminine energy who's piecing out here in the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is all about going from something that was very uncomfortable, very painful, learning your lessons, and then moving into a much more peaceful and calmer waters. This is followed by this Page of Swords energy, which is all about curiosity. It's about, needing to be brave and communicate directly, even though you're not exactly sure what to say. In this sense, I see the masculine energy for the first time since the Emperor card. And he's got this youthful energy here because it's a page. So this is somebody that's also youthful. And in this case, what we see him doing is just watching as the feminine energy basically travels away from this exact thing of having somebody just literally who is curious about you and watching you without actually saying any damn thing to you. You're like, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. This person can be fixated and obsessing over me all that they want. I'm leaving. I'm going elsewhere. I'm not sticking around for this kind of stuff. I don't like it. I have grown out of anxious attachment, and I'm in a much more secure attachment style now. And so, I don't really match with avoidant energy anymore, and I'm looking more for something more secure. And so I'm considering all of my options. And I'm literally, with the Seven of Cups energy, I'm wishing upon a star here. I wish for a different dynamic than the one that I have experienced in the past. I am no longer interested in that. I am moving on from that. Now, this energy has got your person absolutely terrified. And I think that this person who probably did have third-party energy, that they, I'm just getting the sense that it was easier. It was easier than trying to be in a real connection, to just have like these little meaningless flings. Just so much easier for them. And I think that they leaned into that behavior and probably pushed you away in the meantime. And it doesn't just have to be about other people. This could be about all the other things in their life that have their attention. Their work, maybe they have another family from the past. Literally their health could be a concern. There could have been an addiction that they kept prioritizing over you. It's kind of, it doesn't matter. A lot of people get fixated on like if it's a karmic partner. I don't know why that makes them feel. Why do you feel more betrayed when somebody is pouring energy into a karmic partner than you do when someone is pouring energy into a bottle of vodka? Why is that more of a betrayal? I don't understand that. To me, if somebody was like paying attention to some other like person for cheap thrills, like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be like, I can't understand that. People catch your attention. There's beautiful people out there, and I'm sure some of those people are probably amazing too also. So they're spending time with somebody that's like really lovely person and like honestly treating them just as badly as they treated me. So I have compassion for that person that's involved. I think it's way worse if somebody's like, I don't care about you, but this alcohol, so much more important to me. Ew. At least in the other circumstance, there's a human being involved instead of just a freaking substance, right? Not that I don't have my own addictions that I have to overcome, my obsessions, my fixations. Like, we all have them. There's no judgment about what you're fixated on. I just mean personally, I understand why there are people in the collective that are like so triggered when somebody is interested in someone else, but they're not triggered when someone is interested in like a substance. It's weird. Okay. So you saw what you saw. You heard what you heard, which might have been a whole lot of nothing. And you were like, you know what? Go play with these different pieces. Go do whatever you want. I'm gonna keep it pushing. I am going to go to a new place. And what is carrying me there? I love the imagery in the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Look at this anchor. It's attached to the star. And we see this, her pointing here too. So it's like, you made a choice. You made a choice. You were like, you know, I have a lot of fans. I don't need another fan. I don't need to be like, oh my God, this fan loves me. Okay, lots of fans love me. Lots of fans love me. Not that impressed. Without action, without putting your money where your mouth is, I don't really care so much. Peace out. And you hit the ground running. You were like, bye, bitch. Now what's happening currently? You have planted the seeds for new love. You've tended to the seeds. You've grown it for yourself. You're ready to start fresh. You're looking for something and you're assessing everything you're getting very carefully. No longer is somebody being like, oh, I like you. And you're instantly like, okay, let's see where this goes, and put all your eggs in that basket. Right now, you might be getting a lot of offers with that 7 of Cups energy, or you might be having a lot of opportunities to consider. And you're really considering them. You're like, you know, well, I'm going to see where this goes. I'm going to let this person show me that they have something real to offer. And if I don't see it, I'm at peace. Because the 4 of Swords, which is often about grief, it's more about the rest and the peace that comes from the, what do I want to say? Is it weird to say that you get peace from loss? I think when you recover from the loss and you have a sense of peace again is what I'm leaning towards right now. But this is a period of silence, of no communication. It's a time when you just really have to have faith that the work that you've put in is going to start to pay off. And that if you just keep taking these small steps in the direction that you want to be going in, you will see a culmination. You will see this manifestation that you've been desiring. And that, my friends, is where we end up. Because like I said, while this energy is a little bit of your mind not quite being totally ready to receive the amount of power that you've had in this situation, your heart is absolutely feeling your power. Because we have the Queen of Wands here. Again, feminine energy. She is the visionary. The King of Wands, he be taking action, okay? But he has nothing to take action towards without the vision of the feminine energy. You cannot have a creation without first imagining it. And you have absolutely acknowledged for yourself the power of your imagination. And you're starting to recognize, or you will be very soon, because this is the future energy that's coming from where you've been and where you are. You're really going to understand your power. You might be a little tentative about it. You might not be quite willing to receive it. Why? Well, because when I tell you you have the power to create the future that you desire, that also means that you have been not doing that consciously this whole time. That you've just been creating through your imagination, but your imagination has been running away with you. You've been imagining some of the worst case scenarios. You've been imagining that you didn't actually deserve a lot of the things that you actually do deserve. And so a lot of times people don't want to accept that they're creating their reality, because that means that they're creating their reality. So that's where I see you. You're coming to this point where you're like, whoa, I have this power. Now, what do I do with it? Okay. And the conclusion of this reading, I love, even though a lot of people who come to watch Divine Masculine and Feminine readings to see that magical union card at the end of the reading. I'm not giving you a union card at the end of this reading because you didn't need it, because you started out in union. These two came out together. What I see is the change that needs to be made is that your focus has been on this external manifestation when you've been completely ignoring your own role and your own ability to provide and protect yourself, to give yourself the things that you think this external energy is supposed to be giving you. Newsflash, most of these dusty motherfuckers you're focused on have no ability to give you any of the things you desire. Oh my God. They don't. I'm sorry. They didn't learn. Think of how many journals you've filled up. Think of how many videos you've watched, how many self-help videos you've watched, how many books you've read, how many conversations with friends you've had about your self-awareness, how many therapy sessions you've been to, how many readings you booked to get insight and depth. Okay? In all of my 5 years as a reader, I have had a handful of masculine gendered individuals get readings from me. Most of the time, it's when I'm doing readings in a public space, like if I'm at someone's party, like they've hired me to do a party, or I'm at a festival or something like that. Masculine gendered individuals will walk up to me and they will be curious and they will get a reading. But the people who are like, I need to see something change, I have to figure out what's going on, I need this right now, it's mostly feminine gendered individuals who are reaching out to me. And if they are masculine gendered, they might also have their feminine energy very highly developed, right? Their bodies might be masculine, their presentation, their soul, feminine energy. So why on earth would you think that most of the people that you match with on a dating app are going to be able to give you any of this stuff? Because I'm telling you right now, they're not going and figuring out how to do it. Women are doing that. Period. And I'm lucky because they're on my menu too. But this doesn't mean you have to give up and never ever expect to achieve a connection with someone who's capable. What it does mean is it's going to be rare. It's going to take a lot of vision and imagination for you to be able to erase what you know is true about masculine energy in order to hold that idea of somebody that defies what you know is true about them. It's possible you've defied a lot of the odds for yourself in many different ways. I can see this with the Queen of Wands. This is somebody who distinguishes themselves by their vision, by their determination, and they hold a great amount of power and magnetism. Most Queen of Wands energy is extraordinarily beautiful. The type of beauty that is unique to them, and people notice it. So that means you've got something rare you're looking for. So most of the people that have appeared for you have come up so short of this. And you're always putting this on yourself. You're like, why can I never meet somebody? What's wrong with me? Why don't people like me? And it's like, no, girl. No. It's not you. It's not you that's not capable of, being considered worthy. It's the fact that you are. It's the fact that you already are fully embodied and that you are meeting a lot of people who are not, for a couple of reasons. Like I said, number one, it's rare. And number two, you are operating from your old self-concept. Your old self-concept is like an entity that will not die unless you stop giving it water, time, attention, energy, your focus. When you take your focus off of how things were, how they used to be, how they've always been, that part of yourself dies. It can only survive as long as you give it attention. So as you start to starve it out, it will scramble. It will throw these experiences back at you. And it'll be like, see, everything I told you is true. See. But it's not true. It's an illusion. The old self is absolutely committed to looking at new information exactly how it used to. It's like boomers, right? They have a really hard time catching up because they're very fixed in the old way of looking at the system. They're talking to you about going out and, knocking on doors to get a job. And you're like, bro, job boards are fake. Like, corporations make money from job boards. And your parents are like, huh? What do you mean? Just get a job. What do you mean? No, it doesn't work that way anymore. But they won't look at it from a new angle because it's so uncomfortable and so few people are willing to be uncomfortable. I don't like being uncomfortable. Do you? I know that it would cause me a certain amount of discomfort to get my health in order. My health not being in order is causing me a lot of discomfort. But it's a discomfort I'm comfortable with. Instead of choosing a new type of discomfort, I'm sticking with the old one, even though that one's slowly killing me every day. We operate in this kind of energy all the time. This is where we're at. All right. This is a very, very interesting reading. If you've made it this far, you are a singular individual. You really are. Most people, they watch the first, 30 seconds to a minute. They get in the comments and they say, he's never coming back. I don't forgive him. Blah, blah, blah. Right? And you watch this entire thing because you are committed to making the changes you need. So you should be commenting. If you watch this entire thing, you should be commenting, because if there's masculine and feminine energy out there that are looking for each other, you'll probably find them in the comments, because you'll be like, I was here and I did all the work and I do all the work, and you'll meet each other that way. Let's get you one final piece of advice for the road. You know what? Before I get this, I'm getting that I should pull one more card, because I feel like this is a little dissatisfying. You've got your power. You're holding your vision. So what then is the result? Let me ask that question. What is the result of this vision? What deck should I use? Let's use my Buffy Tarot. All right. The end result of you holding this vision in regards to the divine masculine and feminine counterparts is... One card, please. Is that one card? It is. Excuse me. The devil. How do we decipher this? And it's a feminine energy too. Is this Dark Willow? Might be Dark Willow. Okay, so I'm going to need a clarifier for this devil. Now, the devil isn't always a negative card. The devil is also about pleasure. It's about allowing yourself to experience pleasure. Ooh, okay. Well, you know what? Okay, look at that. Look at that synchronicity. Two different decks, the same cards coming out. It's a huge sign from the universe. Look at this underlying energy. Choices. Choices. And what's this that comes out to clarify this devil? Choice. Okay? So the end result of you holding your vision. Ooh. Oh, some of you are not going to like this. Please, I'm just the messenger. Please, don't shoot me. Okay. The end result of you holding this vision that you have for what you truly desire can go in one of two directions. Either you can choose to remain fixated and focused on the masculine energy that you have been holding onto for a long time. I see you. You can focus on that connection, and you can work on the codependencies. You can work on the obsessive nature. You can work on the power it has over you, because the devil has power over people, right? That's going to be the result. If you're holding on to this vision of this singular person, oh, it's only this person. He's my twin flame. I have to be with him forever. He's my soulmate. I dream about him. Every sign I see, it's about this person. You will end up in this codependent devil energy. You will stay there under the spell of your ego's desire to have what you want without regard for the consequences. Now, Willow is a good person, and she becomes enraged when her love is unalived. And that causes her to become like somebody that can destroy the whole world. So you can destroy your whole world by unrelentingly holding on to something that is not good for you. That's not the direction I want my collective to go in. The opposite direction is that you can choose to feel pleasure. Now, that takes me back to this card here. Options. This is somebody who is going to have a vision of the type of partner that they are attracting into their lives, but they're going to go on a lot of dates to be able to find somebody that really feels like they can connect. Somebody who has everything that you have been picturing for this vision of this counterpart that matches you. The only way for you to discover that is for you to get out there and have a little pleasure. It doesn't have to be physical intimacy, but I'm sensing some of you really need that. And it's getting the sense that you're the one who chooses your path. The only time that you're not able to choose is when you give someone else your power. And that's the outcome here. You have to choose, and that's why this wasn't fully upright. You have to choose who you are giving power over you. Are you surrendering to the divine and letting the divine guide you where you need to go and follow your intuition as you experience it, and your intuition will take you home? Or are you giving it to the devil? Whatever your ego mind has decided is what you must have. The thing about this choice is when you make these choices to choose pleasure for yourself when you need it, the person that has been choosing pleasure in a negative way, they're going to see you making that choice, and they're going to have to do what it is that they weren't doing to heal the energy around their own tendencies to just choose their own pleasure very selfishly. It's very motivating when you see somebody that you do know that you want to be with go and be everything that you were being. And I'm not saying you need to go out there and be a hoe, but you can if you want. As long as you protect yourself and others, and at harm none, do as ye will. And at harm none, do as ye will. The choice is up to you. But this other person that you have been so focused on and hoping, oh, he's going to change. You've been doing all the emotional processing. You've been holding down the relationship for him. All the while he's going off and, having just fun times and hurting you over and over again. That person is going to see you making a decision that's good for yourself. And they're going to be like, maybe I should do something that's good for myself. And something that's good for myself is probably not making the decisions to have a bunch of shallow relationships. And remember, your decision is not to have shallow relationships. Your decision is to date other people so that you can figure out what really works for you. Not what your fantasy has told you works for you, but what really does. And that does mean, kissing some frogs, right? And I think a lot of people, because they really just want that deep, profound connection, if it's not there right away, it feels like the date wasn't worth it. And that's because you're not dating to meet people and get to know people. You're dating for the end goal of being like chained to them in a codependent relationship for life. Get out there and start to experience the pleasure of getting to know people, of having someone compliment you, of having someone pay attention to you and you pay attention to them and it feels good. Enjoy that for itself, for the experience of itself. That's my advice to you. We have the progressions and the journey card. I love when a reading won't obey my ego. My ego wants to get it out here and give you something that I know is going to be clickbait. And this reading is like, no, girl. You are going to be reading for the people that are really here to heal. Period. Also, somebody just liked me right as I was saying that. Some from on a dating app just liked me just as I was saying that, just to confirm absolutely everything I'm saying. Okay, progressions, journey. This says, the planets continuously move through time and space. When you are born, you imprint the patterns of that moment, which are described in your natal chart. But the planets keep moving, and you also imprint the patterns they make as they progress through those first few months. These progressions sketch out the big sweeping journey of your life. You live that pattern out at roughly the rate of a year to a day for the rest of your life. Once you're born, you can't choose the cycles you live through, but you always choose how to respond. The action you're meant to take. Progressions do not speak of a passing thing, but to the big sweeping arcs of karmic fate, to your soul's journey. Your present situation may not make sense in the short term because it has more to do with big karmic patterns and how those intersect with the karmic patterns of the world's progress, and less to do with your daily existence. That's why I started off this entire thing talking about literally patriarchy, because this is something that's happening on a global scale. It's not just something that's happening to a few people that like my posts on TikTok. It's happening to thousands of people that like my posts on TikTok from all over the world. We're all going through this collectively. Stand back and look at your life's journey. Think of the years you engaged with the world and the years you needed time for more personal work. Consider making a timeline or painting this landscape to see where you are in those big sweeping patterns. This situation may feel fated, but the outcome is not predestined. This is for those of you that are like, my twin flame, I'm fated to my twin flame. It's not. I'm here to tell you, there is not a book of destiny that this is fated to happen type of situation. There are infinite variations of timelines. You can choose the one that you focus on. That I believe in so much. This situation may feel fated, but the outcome is not predestined. Though you may feel uncomfortable, you always have a choice about how you respond and where you go. Can I make this shit up? Can I make this shit up? Are you watching this? Whoever is watching this for a full amount of time, please let me know in the comments. This is crazy. Crazy. To help guide you in the moment, consider where you would like to be at the end of your life, a far distant point, and look back. Let this future become your lighthouse to guide you. Even though you may have to go around the rocks and work with the tides, let your lighthouse guide you. Challenge. This is not a small obstacle or opportunity. This is part of a complex pattern. Every choice you make changes how it unfolds. The gift of this card is trust the tides and set your own sails. Literally. And my brother comes in from his shower with his music blasting right as I finish this reading. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't booked a session with me, what is stopping you? Is it the price? Well, that's okay, because I have income-based readings available. All you have to do is reach out to me, turnedintarot@gmail.com. Let me know what your situation is, and I will send you a discount code if you need it. If you don't need a discount code, book today. Book an hour-long session, book a 30-minute session, book a 15-minute one-on-one session. I also have video readings available if you would like me to just answer a question for you in a video form. You can also become a member, and this would be really, really, really special to me if you did this. You can become a member of my Center for Intuitive Arts, Sciences, and Living Intelligence, which is a big, huge project that is unfolding beneath my feet and before your very eyes. And it is something I'm super, super proud of. And if you go check out intuitiveliving.info, you can see everything that's coming. It is a huge, massive project. It's going to require a team of people, and it absolutely is going to require a bunch of people contributing a little bit at a time to get me there. So $5 a month today, that's going to be a huge payoff for you in the long run, because we're building a community, a new platform. We have our own AI models. Everything is going to be separate from the huge corporate conglomerates. It's going to be owned, community owned. It's an awesome project. Lots of stuff to go over there, so go check that out. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of my new followers. Thank you for everybody who stays for my whole videos. I love you all.